The City Council for the City of Brookshire, Texas will hold a regular session City Council meeting on November 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the City Hall to consider the following. We have roll call, please.
Mayor Richards,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Green,
Present.
Alderwoman Taylor,
Here.
Alderman Stamps,
Present.
Alderwoman McDade.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Prayer. Dr. Ellen Jones, please.
Heavenly Father, we come tonight with praise in our hearts, thanksgiving rendered upon our minds. Well, Father, you protected us, you provided for us. And God, you allowed us to make it to this wonderful location. And Father, we ask that you crown the council's head with wisdom and knowledge. As they continue to make plans and projections for our city. Touch our citizens, touch those senior citizens, touch our young people, as we continue to strive together to be what you call us to be. This is your darling Son. We do exalt this prayer. Amen and thank God. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Public comments. Per Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code 551-007, the City Council may not discuss or take action on any items not listed on the agenda. Each member of the public wishing to speak must sign in before the meeting, which is limited to 3 minutes. First, I have Mr. Greg Luster. Guy, I'm sorry.
My handwriting's terrible.
Good evening, sir.
I did a lot of thinking about this for the last week and a half. The best thing that I could come up with now in 3 minutes is I'm real discouraged and amazed that I, as a landowner, have to accept a company that I never asked for to install a utility that I never asked for. And this company is allowed to come onto my land that I've been paying taxes on and grooming and grass cutting and spending hundreds of dollars on water to maintain it and keep it beautiful, and that I have no right and I can't stop that company from coming on my land and digging holes as they see fit and running and operating a process that's called stitch boring, which I've never heard of. But what drives a 2.5-inch stainless steel cylinder with an impact air compressor through my dirt, and I can't say one thing about it because it's in the right-of-way in my front of my lawn. I don't know how much right-of-way that has, but I think it's a 60-foot right-of-way on my street, Hereford Drive.
So you have 1 minute.
Okay. In the process of about close to 2 weeks, that company broke 2 water mains, that's 6-inch mains, caused all kinds of mud flows and water flows, shut the water off for a day or several hours, caused a boil water notice for 4 days, okay? Hit 3 of my sprinkler lines, hit 3 1-inch supply lines that come off of the main further down the street.
So your time is up.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's what I wanted to say.
Mr. Romero, Dr. Marrero Batista.
Mayor, Council, good evening. I just want to have a few minutes to talk about just about Easy Fiber, the gentleman was speaking about. You know, I wanted to share that we had a pre-construction meeting several months ago with this company, and we brought them in and kind of gave them the understanding of what was going on here, or they gave us understanding of what they were going to be doing in our city and installing fiber in the city's right-of-way and easements. And so after giving them that information and having that essentially pre-development meeting, what we did was we had them submit their applications. Their reviews went to their designs went to the city engineer for review and approval. We did receive those approvals from city engineer on those applications, and after receiving the approval from the water district, we did issue 3 permits. 3 permits were going to be issued at a time, and so those permits were issued. Now, I do understand that initially Easy Fiber did have some complications with the installation of fiber within the city, and some lines were hit, whether it's boring that they were doing or with their missile. We then had another meeting with their construction manager and other individuals, the city, the water district, and so we came to another understanding that they would perform work to the best of their ability, and that they would have a schedule set aside where they would only be working until 4 o'clock, so that if a water main did bust, the water district and the contractor could have an opportunity to repair those lines. So we had that, and I just do want to give the last update that for this upcoming holiday week, the city has asked Easy Fiber to not perform any services from Tuesday 11/25 to Friday 11/28, and they will begin their work again installing fiber on Monday, December 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Lee Nelson Jones.
And council, thank you for allowing me this time to speak. And I have a threefold purpose in me standing. Firstly, I want to thank council for allowing us to move forward with our Youth Advisory Commission. We had the opportunity to view the applications and do interviews. We had 25 that filled out those applications. Those applications were designed generically 2019. Only amendments we made from that was taking the essay part and making it a statement and removing 500-word essay to 250. 11 of those, we do have 2 of the officers that was made the interview process and done a tremendous job. Y'all can give them a hand. And we also have our Vice President, Councilman Stamps, Interim Chief Stamps, and Lieutenant Phillips that serves as our chaplain, and I serve as the president. So I'm grateful to you, and that's just a slight update concerning our Youth Advisory Commission. Now, I was slightly turned that I will address council and the audience because on Wednesday, December the 10th, Wednesday, December the 10th, we are having an evening of elevation, Falcon Elevation Night, over at the Convention Center. It's not a banquet, but it's a casual evening to elevate our student athletes for the fall sports, for their success, and we just want to come together as a community. City of Brookshire, you did an awesome job on the Wednesday.
One.
You did an awesome job.
1 minute.
And I'm grateful for everyone coming out and supporting. On next Tuesday, November the 25th, there's a Thanksgiving luncheon honoring the seniors, serving our seniors. It will be here at the Convention Center over there next door. Come on through. I know we'll have it for the senior citizens because we do want to honor our matriarchs and patriarchs of our community. But it's for everyone. But everyone, please come out. If you have someone who physically cannot attend, please let us know. Councilman Stamps, Sister Lakeithia Corner, let them know. They will put them on the delivery list. We do have delivery drivers who will be taking meals to their home. And that's my time.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for your generosity.
All right. Item number 6. Discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held on November 6, 2025.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular meetings, council meeting held on November the sixth, 2025, with any necessary corrections.
Second.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, we have a presentation. Records Consultant, Inc., on Records Retention Management Services. Good afternoon.
Good evening, council, mayor. Thank you guys for having me.
Good evening.
For the record, I'm Chris Coriel, and I'm Vice President of RCI, Records Consultants, Inc. I was invited here to talk a little bit about records management in general and to talk maybe a little bit about our services and some options that might be available to you guys over time. I came earlier today. I spent a little bit of time investigating the records, the various records the city has across several rooms, and I'll describe that in a little bit. So a little bit about records management. Well, I'll start with me. So again, we're with RCI. RCI is a records management company. It's been serving clients across the U.S. Our specialty is local governments, right? All local governments, not only in Texas, but there are retention schedules that local governments must follow. In Texas, and so we've been doing this for 32 years, actually longer than 32 years. We work with not only cities, but counties, school districts, everybody that follows the local records schedule. In Texas, just a little bit about us, we probably help somewhere between 400 to 500 of the municipalities in the state of Texas. We help probably about 800 of the little bit over 1,000 school districts in the state. We help colleges and universities on top of that, and maybe about half the counties, including Waller County that you guys are part of. So we do this in, like I said, about 40 states across the U.S. So we're pretty well versed in records management. A little bit about what that means for municipalities and cities and local governments. There are retention schedules that are defined about what records must be maintained, how long they must be maintained, right? And it's it's a difficult challenge for all local governments because there are a lot of records, right? So in Texas, we're fortunate the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, aka TESLAC, is the guiding body that sets the retention schedules for all local governments. There are 12 different schedules. By the way, I'm not going to do a PowerPoint presentation. I sent one. There's information in that you guys are welcome to go through. But so in the state of Texas, there are 12 different retention schedules. Not all of those 12 schedules apply specifically to a city because there's one specifically for county clerks. There's one for district clerks. There's one for public utilities. If you have a utilities department, then it would be applicable. There's one for public safety. So anyway, of those 12 schedules, there are a handful, probably 4 to 6 of them that apply to city governments, right? If you were to print out the record schedule that prints out, it's about that thick. There are about 3,500 different record series in that. And so it's a difficult task for a city or a county to have a records management officer that is responsible for managing the different records across all of those departments, okay? So a little bit about, well, let me start with, in each entity, right, as I said, there is one records management officer. The entity, I say entity because it's not only cities, but in this case, I'll start referring to the city. So the city will designate one records management officer, and they will declare a records retention policy. You cannot go shorter than the state requires, you can go longer, and those things should be on file with the state, right? So that's part of the responsibility. So in Texas, retention schedules, the great part about it is entities are able to destroy records as they have met the retention. You can't keep, I mean, the guidance there is you can't keep everything forever. Where would you put it, right? So fortunately, you're able to, as things meet the retention, you're able to destroy those records. It mitigates the risks. If you have a FOIA request or a records request, you don't want to have to reproduce something that you're not required to keep, right? So there's wisdom to that, plus you just don't have room, and trying to find records is not an easy challenge. So we, RCI, we provide a few different services. And I'm going to start and I kind of think about them in 3 different groups. One is we're not consultants. Our name is Records Consultants, Inc. That's a misnomer. We're not consultants. We're a physical service provider. So we help do the work that our clients have difficulty doing internally because they don't have the time or the resources and expertise to do those functions. So we're a service company. We don't just consult. Anybody can go read the regulations, but doing the task is the difficult part. So our first core service is records retention management, which involves us coming on site, going through boxes of inactive records, not active things, not currently fiscally active, not current personnel records, but things that are already inactive, right? And so we come through and physically go through boxes of records. We normally would go into the Records Retention Center, which is a lot of different things in a lot of different places, right? So you guys have basically 4 different areas where you have records stored. Others will have a connex out back. It could be underneath the gymnasium bleachers. It's a lot of different things in a lot of places, right? But we come into those record centers. We don't go office to office, room to room. We come into that records area, and that's where we do our work, where we go through boxes, we sort them, catalog each record with the actual TESLAC record series, identify it, of course, its description as well, when it's created, and most importantly, when it's eligible to be destroyed. And so that's our retention service. Again, we call it records retention processing. And we charge by the box to do that. It has all of our travel fees and, per diems and hotel fees if we're, overnight, which they typically are, right? So that's the core service that we provide. We also follow up with our clients after that retention service. We'll follow up with them for any records that are eligible to be destroyed, and we'll do the document destruction if they request it. So I'll give you a hypothetical example here. If we were to come in and do 100 boxes for an entity, right? It's not uncommon that 40 to 60% of those may already be past any retention period, meaning they're eligible to be destroyed, right then. And so then the remaining, let's say in this example, we had 47 boxes eligible to be destroyed. You may have 53 boxes. Some of those might be able to be destroyed in 2026, 2027, and so on. And so we catalog all 100 of those boxes for our clients, so you know exactly what you have and when things can be destroyed. As a matter of fact, that's actually required by the state. In Bulletin C, you are supposed to keep an inventory of your inactive records. Most clients, I walked in today, most clients don't have that unless they're working with RCI. We provide that for our clients. So every inactive record that we ever touch, and I'm not talking about each page or each file, but I'm talking about the boxes of records, right? So we catalog the contents of those boxes and what's in there, so we build that inventory for our clients. As those records are destroyed, so our second service is to do destruction. And after that record is destroyed, or that box of records, that set of records, we'll update that inventory to say, hey, these 47 boxes were destroyed on December the 5th, right? So those are the basic services around records retention management. The last service is to help, you have permanent records, right? So records that must be maintained permanently or very long term. Those are things like minutes and agendas. Those are permanent records. Ordinances and resolutions, the past ordinances and resolutions that are signed off by the council members. Inactive personnel or a 75-year record or a long-term record. Public works and facilities records, commercial building properties, zoning properties, those are long-term permanent records. So those are the types of things that we do with our third service, where we help our clients convert those old paper archives, which you have plenty of around here, and we help convert those into electronic copy. In the state of Texas, not like every state, but in the state of Texas, we are allowed to keep copy of record in electronic format, right? So the purpose there is because evil things happen to records. If you're along the coast, or hurricanes, if you're up in North Texas, there's tornadoes, fires are everywhere, right? So the convenience or the benefit of that is, one, you don't have to worry about as much space. Two, you can safeguard them against evil. And then three is they're much more accessible if they're on your computer, right? Or if they're at your fingertips rather than having to go across the street to the record center to find records. So those are the three things that we do. So I'm going to take a little bit of a pause here, and then I will let you guys ask questions if you have questions about that, and then I'll tell you about what I found here today. So any questions about the retention management and what's required?
Electronic, is it cloud-based?
So a question that comes up in there is, once you have records electronically, how do you want to maintain them?
Correct.
Right. That's a choice for every entity. The state does have requirements about how you manage that, right? Because it's your archival format. In the state of Texas, you don't have to keep the paper record, right? So if you were to digitize all of your board minutes and agendas, your history of those, you can destroy the physical paper record. So therefore, you have to have some pretty good practices in place to make sure that those are digitally safe and secure, right? So there are three options. One is to maintain them on your local network, which requires that your IT services have a pretty good backup routine. So if something happens, right? So you need to make sure that those are safeguarded. The second way is to use to use shared services like Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint. There's several different things out there that you can use. I'm sorry? Dropbox is one as well. And then the last is to use a content management system. And these are software programs that are specifically meant to house and manage electronic content of all things. It could be video, it could be audio, certainly file-based things as well. And my computer seems to have died out on me, so I'll do some of these from memory about what I counted today. So, so what I observed today in 4 different areas, I'm not going to recite the 4 areas, you probably know where they are, but there are 4 different areas. Starting in development, your economic development department, right, there's a handful of records back there that would probably need some processing. There are a few records that might be permanent that you might want to consider digitizing. I'll describe that in a little bit more detail in a second. Then there was a room close to that, one of your storage rooms, which had some of the large format building plans, which there are some of the permanent plans in there, as well as quite a few boxes for records retention. There were a few right here in the vault behind us for your municipal court, right? There are a few boxes in there that might need to be processed. And then a bigger room back, I'm not sure of the term right here, the second storage room with a vault, and there are several hundred boxes in there, okay? So having viewed those, here's what my summary is. There are probably somewhere between 850 to 900 boxes that the city has, all right? And it's not that anybody's not done a good job. There's not, it's pretty common to find this, right? But there are boxes that should probably be properly marked by what's actually in the record by the state schedule, and most importantly, when you can destroy those. My estimate is somewhere between 850 to 900 boxes that I observed while I was walking around. That's not everything. Again, I'm not in file cabinets or drawers, but it's a pretty big number of boxes. It's not uncommon for a city of your guys' size.
What's your per box cost again?
It ranges between 30 to 40, but it tends to be right around $35 per box. I would plan and budget around $35. I'll be happy to send a proposal on what I observed just for your guys' own budgeting and planning if and when you guys ever choose to do that. The other thing, so that would be one piece if you choose to have some help on the records retention processing. That's quite a bit of hours of work, so if you try to do it internally, I know your staff, it's a difficult, time-consuming staff, and you probably don't really have the staff to go to that. It would take you guys quite a bit of time to do that. It's probably a 1 to 2 week project for us with several individuals on that project if we were to do that. On the digitizing side, what I observed were mostly the large format building plans. There were a few of the minutes and agendas that were kind of apparent and stored in the side for the, I guess you call it, economic development, right, EDC, right, department. There's a few over there, but the bulk of what I observed that might be candidates for long-term things were those large format plans in a couple of different areas. My estimate on that was there's probably somewhere around 10 to 15,000 different large format sheets, right, of the different plans. Each sheet has a price to it. It's somewhere around $250 to digitize each sheet. So when you look at a building plan set for a shopping center or whatever it is, there may be several hundreds, there may be 10 to 20 sheets in that, but each sheet has a price to it. And I estimate somewhere between 10 to 15,000. I'm giving you a pretty big range because it's really hard. It's, fairly difficult to, you can't just do that in a simple observation. But anyway, somewhere between 10 to 15,000, and again, we charge around $202.50 for that. So my estimation, just for your budgeting purposes, if you were to employ services like us, the records retention work that we do is probably in the $30,000 to maybe $35,000 range. So when I give you a proposal, I would not be surprised if that's in that range. And then secondly, on the imaging side, if you were to digitize those things, if and when you guys choose to do that, that's probably also in that same $30,000 to $40,000 range would be my guesstimates for you guys. So that's what I observed, and be happy to provide proposals. We don't cost with proposals. There's nothing for me to drive out here and talk to you guys, but I'll be happy to provide that in more details because there's a whole lot to it. I could talk for hours, but I won't go on any longer.
All right.
Can you explain the ledgers part?
Oh, ledgers, yes, sir. So in the information I provided to you guys, So we charge by the box, but sometimes when you'll come into an entity, they'll have ledgers. I'll talk about a county. You probably have some here as well. I didn't really notice any, but you come into a county, they may have deed books or all kinds of ledgers. It's large bound books. They don't fit in boxes. And so different ledgers could be tax rolls, could be election records. There's a lot of different things. So not all of them are permanent. So to have them, again, classified and identified, we charge by the ledger to do that, right? So a ledger is just a large bound volume. Most of them have removable bindings. Some of the older ones, right, they'll have permanent bindings, right? They're glued bindings. You know, the permanent stuff you'd rather probably digitize than keep around in books, so.
Okay, and just to be clear, you estimate that we have about 800 boxes that still need to be,
Probably north of 850, yes, sir.
okay. Does anybody else have
And up
anything
to,
else?
you said 15,000 building plan.
Somewhere between 10 to 15,000 individual sheets. I
Individual
did not
sheets.
count the number of plans. Some of them are in drawers, right? You have some of the map trays, they're called trays, right? They're the wide drawers. There are probably about 20 different drawers, and then there's some in some large containers and boxes. Some boxes they're up on top of the shelves and they're in closed boxes. So it's a blind guess, but I would estimate that
Okay.
pretty likely in that area.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you guys for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
Happy holidays to you guys.
You too.
Thank you.
New business, item number 7. Discussion and possible action to schedule a town hall meeting in reference to potential 12th Street project.
I move to direct staff to present the mayor and the city council with 3 possible dates in the January 2026 to schedule a town hall meeting regarding the potential 12th Street project with the project contractors and attendants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion pass. Item number 8. Right, we'll get the dates. 3 dates, different dates, yeah. You good with that? We'll get the dates, okay. Item number 8, right. Okay. Item number 8, discussion and possible action to request an update from the city attorney regarding the ongoing Waller County Precinct 4 investigation involving former employee Ms. Jennifer Ward, Ms. Erica Molina, and Ms. Stacy Gote. Alderwoman McDade.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, do you have any updates?
There is no update. They are very tight-lipped about those. I mean, I think the city has done everything we can to give them the necessary, or the constable's office, all necessary information related to this issue, and there's no obligation for the district attorney's office to coordinate with us on these. We did inquire at one point when this issue first came up and fell upon deaf ears. I'd be happy to put in another phone call, but I don't expect them to give me an update.
Yes, because I think it's been over 6 months that we haven't heard anything.
And I don't expect that they will tell me much, but I'd be happy to put a call out.
Okay. Well,
There's really not much more we as a city can do with that matter. It's now in the district attorney's hands and becomes a decision on whether or not they're going to pursue anything against those 2 individuals or not. But I know that we've done our due diligence and provided them, at least the constable's office, and they provided the DA's office with all necessary information.
okay. And just for public knowledge, approximately about 6 months ago, documents were turned in to Waller County concerning misuse of city credit card and misuse of comp time. So we're waiting on feedback from that, just to be
We're waiting on resolution.
a resolution.
Yes. I can reemphasize with them not only city council's desire for them to proceed, but also see if they're willing to share any information with me. So far, they have not. I don't expect them to. Not while it's still pending.
Do you have any information regarding the case that was settled in Fort Bend?
I don't have the details, but it's my understanding they entered into a plea deal with them, and part of that plea deal was restitution to the city of Simonton. Jennifer's amount was 8,000, give or take, and I believe Erica's was 5, give or take. The only reason we were made privy to that is because we represent the city of Simonton, and they asked us to be the custodians of that restitution money and to then provide to the city. I don't know exactly what that's for, but similar type of claims that I think are here in
Same thing.
Brookshire. Similar.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, item number 9, discussion and update with city attorney regarding former Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Jeremiah Hill, additional case file with Waller County Precinct 4 in reference to misuse of city funds, falsifying election application.
Pretty much same thing, no updates.
Even less than the first one, meaning that we did put some inquiries in when this first became, and this has been a while. But I've heard nothing, and I've gotten no indication that there's movement from the DA's office. I can ask again and see if they're willing to provide. This one, very unlikely that they would provide any information. But,
Why would they not?
well, because if they were going to pursue something, they're sure not going to tell us about it. In any way inhibit the investigation.
Okay.
But I don't know anything new. But I have not made a call about Jeremiah Hill to the DA's office in quite a while, so I'll be happy to put in another call.
Please do.
I will.
Thank you.
All right, item number 10, discussion of possible action to hire an independent investigator regarding former council member Tony McAnally, Mr. Tony McAnally, possible involvement in the misuse of Economic Development Corporation, EDC funds related to the purchase of agriculture projects. Alderwoman McDade.
Yes, sir. And just for public knowledge, this is related to former Mayor Pro Tem Jeremiah Hill, purchase of agriculture, and Mr. Tony McNally's affiliation with that. So what I would like to do is make a motion to hire an independent investigator to review and determine if former council member Tony McNally had any affiliation in the misuse of EDC funds related to the purchase of agricultural projects by former Mayor Pro Tem Jeremiah Hill. And I would like to authorize the mayor or
I think just the mayor's fine.
the mayor's fine, okay, to proceed with securing an investigative service.
I mean, I think if y'all would like to second that, I just asked this only to qualify,
Go
make
ahead.
a motion we're gonna have to bring back some kind of proposal for consideration. I think just giving the mayor kind of blanket authority, he's not gonna, I mean,
Okay.
I don't even know where the price is gonna be for something.
Well, we have that Billy Tidwell report and maybe some
So it's really there.
details.
Billy, and see if he wants to update it, maybe. It would be the most cost-effective way to handle that.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Are you sure you was asking?
So
Okay.
you want me to reword that?
The motion is to hire Billy Tidwell to
Oh, yeah.
continue the investigation.
I mean, he's already provided one. I don't know if he
It's-
addressed this
it's-
specifically this issue, but I think he touched on this a little bit. So I
Correct.
think the report will need an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe an amendment or update, supplement the report with this specific matter.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to have Billy Tidwell to update the investigation. What was the next?
For the agenda item, for this, you don't have to read the whole thing.
Okay, okay.
As it relates to agenda item number 10.
In relation to agenda item number 10.
You got a second, Ms. Taylor?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Motion passed. All right. Item number 11, discussion possible action to approve and publish a request for qualifications, RFQ for city attorney. So the cost of legal fees are rising. And so I think it will be beneficial for the city to enter into a contract with a firm for cost savings.
I make a motion that we approve and publish the request for qualification for the city attorney's services and present an authorized staff to proceed with all necessary steps for advertisement and distribution.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Item number 12, discussion of possible action to approve the DRC kitchen remodel proposal for preferred facility group, a buy board jock company for the Disaster Recovery Center. Dr. Batista.
Good evening again, Mayor, Council. What you have in front of you is two proposals. Initially, in your email, you received one proposal that didn't include the sheetrocking. They had now come back and made within the budgeted amount to include the sheetrocking on this project. And so the amount that you have there falls within the budget amount for FY '26 for the Disaster Recovery Center kitchen remodel.
And so, as you all remember, you all did approve a generator for Disaster Recovery Center. And now before you, the kitchen, and the last piece will be to get the gas hooked up. And then we should be full operational in case of a disaster, tornado, hurricane, winter freeze, virus, whatever we need to do to help the citizens.
Ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the DRC kitchen remodel proposal for Preferred Facilities Group and a buy board JOC company for the disaster recovery facility and authorize staff to proceed with the project as outlined.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Item number 13, discussion and review of ordinance number 16607-12, mobile food units. Alderwoman Taylor.
Does y'all wanna have a discussion on it, or? I brought this to everyone's attention because of all of some residents, some businesses coming in for a food truck. So we were trying to see if we can get like a food truck park or something to that nature. I know you've been on it, so, but I'm just rekindling it because it's been died down.
Dr. Batista, any updates on that?
Yes, good evening again. And so we have located a couple of properties for you all to take a look at. They all are private owners, so we would have to reach out to them to see if they're willing to even sell their properties. But we will come back on the next agenda for those sites. We did find another site today that we want to reach out to those private owners as well to see if they're considering selling their site.
So we do have frequently individuals that come to City Hall to inquire about food truck permits. We also have pop-up food trucks that go out there. So do you all want to consider some temporary actions, or do y'all just want to wait until we come back with the
When you say,
teacher's information?
when you say temporary action, are you
Like a permit, like.
Permit,
temporary permit?
daily permit, weekly, it's up to the
Kiki,
council, of course.
When was, you remember,
I-
how long was it?
I need to be updated because in the past we were allowing food trucks in the city, and then I was told we weren't, but I wasn't on council when that change took place. I was reading through the ordinance, but I don't see where there was an amendment to the ordinance.
Right, that's why I brought
So-
up this.
No, and I didn't see one either. I mean,
Yeah,
like a
I didn't see an
2012
amendment
ordinance.
either.
It's an older, but y'all already have a process in place for permitting,
Right.
mobile food trucks. What I did notice, if you're interested in doing something like a park, you don't have food truck park regulations, which we could consider those kind of simultaneously with looking at a site if that's something y'all are interested in. But,
Well-
yeah, Mayor, I'm not sure exactly where you were headed with temporary.
I think we need to do a little bit more homework, because how do we go from an ordinance to no food trucks at all?
So
We
the
do-
previous, they wouldn't allow people. They was just denying them, even with the ordinance being like it was. It was just no food truck. So that's why when they come to the office, it's like you can have a food truck here.
I mean, the only risk there would be that you've kind of de facto repealed that ordinance by council action, prior action, but you really can't amend an ordinance except by ordinance, so you have a valid ordinance in place. I mean, it's, I do think it would be worth, it's old, and food truck rules have changed statewide over the last couple sessions.
Yeah.
To take a look at this and update it and add some food truck park regulations for consideration as well. That way, you're good to go with the rules in place when and if you decide to pull the trigger on a park site.
We can review the ordinance, come back with recommendations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Do y'all represent the city of Waller?
Yes.
I passed by a food truck park there off of 0290.
Okay.
Can you look to see?
To find out how it was done?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd be
And
happy
I
to.
took a picture of Miss McNaid, and I'll get you that photo.
Text me the picture too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll find out how they did that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there's no action on that. Item number 15, discussion and possible action to authorize the City of Brookshire Police Department to enter into a contract with Lexapool, a sole source provider for the annual policy subscription and one-time onboarding fee in a total amount of $12,462.30. Chief Green.
Good evening, council. So I previously spoke with you all about Lexapol and them redoing all of our police department policies because they're very out of date. There's been a lot of legislation changes, both at the state level and federal level, that need to be incorporated into our policies. I think that we need to review our use of force policy and update everything in our policy. And I learned that Lexapol is a sole source provider, meaning they are the only ones that are going to be able to provide us with this service. So I know we had discussed going out for possible bids, but there's not going to be any other company that's going to provide the same service.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I make a motion that we authorize the City of Brookshire Police Department to enter into a contract with Lexipol, a sole source provider for the annual policy subscription and one-time onboarding fee in the total amount of $12,462.30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Last item on the agenda for executive session. Discussion of possible action for pre-approval to move reserve funds as needed. So ask for this item to be on the agenda. In case moving forward throughout this budget year, if there's some funds that need to be moved, that we don't have to keep coming to council for it, for permission.
I move to grant pre-authorization to the mayor to move reserve funds as necessary with the proper documentation and notification to the city council for unanticipated expenses or items that may be left out of the current fiscal budget, ensuring continued operations and financial flexibility for the city.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, executive session. The city council will meet in closed session pursuant to Title V, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for the purpose of consultation with legal counsel, Section 551071. The council will convene an executive session pursuant to Section 551074 of the Texas Government Code to consider personnel issues and duties of police officers and employees, specifically Public Works Superintendent. The city council will convene an executive session as authorized by Texas Government Code, Section 551072, deliberations regarding real property, to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, and value of real property. If deliberations in an open meeting will have a detrimental effect of the position of governmental body in negotiation with a third person. And the time is 7:44 p.m.
Good to see you.
Hey, how are you, sir? Okay, we're back. Discussion and consider action resulting from executive session. There was no action, and the time is 8:40 p.m. Ms. Dunn, you have any community announcements?
Good evening, Mayor Richardson, Council. The community events, I have November the 24th at the Hangar. They are having a Thanksgiving food pantry at 10 a.m. November 25th at the Convention Center, Pastor Jones will be sponsoring his 10th annual Thanksgiving luncheon for the senior citizens at 10 a.m. at the Convention Center. Also on November the 25th, at the Brookshire Police Department at 10 a.m., they are giving away free turkeys. It's going to be first come, first serve, sponsored by Brookshire Memorial Oak Cemetery and also partnered with the Brookshire Police Department. On December the 6th, tree lighting, it's going to be PJs and movie night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be here at the amphitheater. The movie for the night will be The Grinch. On November 12th, at the Hangar, we are having a Seniors Day Out from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's going to be Miss Mia Davis is sponsoring that at the Hangar again. On November the 13th, it's the Brookshire Police Department is having their, I'm sorry, December 12th at the Hangar.
You said November.
I'm sorry, December 12th. I do apologize for that. December 13th, the Brookshire Police Department is having a toy distribution drive at the police department. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then following that, we'll have a parade lineup at 11, and the parade will leave at 12. We're asking everyone to please register in order to qualify for the prize. Family Fun Day, that same morning, is going to be from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be here at the amphitheater. We'll have a kids zone, free food, and also entertainment. If you have any community events or announcements, if you can please email me or text me, email qdunn@brookshiretx.gov, phone number 346-257-7495. Also, please make sure you follow the City of Brookshire Facebook page for all updates.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Yes, sir.
The tour drive, I will be Santa Claus and I will need food, so those who, just a reminder to you guys.
We'll bring you some donuts, okay? All right, future agenda items. Alderman Green,
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Alderwoman Taylor,
Don't have any at this time, Mayor.
Alderman Stamps,
Discussion and possible action to consider contracting RCI for records and retention.
that's it, sir.
That's it.
Alderman McDade,
Yes, sir. I have one. Discussion and possible action to submit a formal request to the district attorney for former Brookshire police officers Clyde Miller and Ashley Thomas to be removed from the Brady list based on updated information and documentation. Huh? Clyde Miller and Ashley Thomas.
okay, is that it? I have one.
One?
That's it.
Yes.
No, he got about 10 over there.
Discussion possible action to hire a project manager for Tyler Technologies computer implementation. That's it.
That's it.
Okay, Ms. Taylor.
Make a motion with adjourn.